come to a quiet place and just prepare to receive these vibrations and all that they have to share. I'll see you guys in a little while. I hope you enjoy.
Oh, thank you. Water. We love you.
All good. Hello, hello. We are here and we are very pleased to interact with you in this way. We once again thank you for allowing us to be here with you. Every time you allow the bridge to open between our respective realities, there is a tremendous transference of light and energy that allows us to together expand in our connection and understanding of Source and all that is. We thank you and we are you, essentially, as we are twin souls at a bigger picture level, you could say. And we are very interested in your world and pleased to help you in these times. Now, we understand you have a great deal to share with us, so let us dive right in. You may begin with your questions.
Hello and thank you. My name is Kira.
Hello, how are you doing today?
I'm wonderful. It's great to talk with you. I would like to ask questions about what you have to say about our evolving DNA.
Yes.
And also how you may have thoughts on our bodies changing from carbon form to crystalline.
Yes.
And how perhaps that impacts us learning to get our nourishment and energy directly from universal prana and chi and find that eating becomes optional.
Yes.
So those are mainly the questions I'm interested in hearing about.
As you come to understand now that your DNA is constantly changing, that with every thought and decision, and especially sensory stimulation, your genetic structure morphs and adapts. The foods that you consume, the sounds you surround yourself with, and the other humans that you interact with are changing the structure of your DNA in every moment. And so, yes, there is an increase in the ability to change, for there is more information out there in your world now. And there is also an influx of cosmic energies that are continuing to help you tune into these higher octaves. Now, your energetic body has corresponding strands of DNA that match your two strands of physical DNA. And for a number of years, there have been increased activity for those who have been tuning into these new gateways, who have been unlocking the capabilities of spiritual healing, of meditation, of vibration, of channeling, and so on and so forth. You are taking this non-physical energy and allowing it to merge with your genetic structure. And this is a very exciting way for you to integrate more of who you are. Is there something you would specifically like to know about your DNA?
What is your analysis of the strands and structure of human DNA? Some say that it is morphing into more than two strands.
This is occurring at other levels. At non-physical levels, there are many more strands of DNA that are beginning to integrate within your system, though your physical body will not adjust to have more physical DNA at this time. At future times, perhaps, though at that point you will be considered a different species.
And what about the shift from carbon to crystalline?
Yes, this is very important that you increase the level of silica in your diet, for this will help you to adjust to this new crystalline frequency. As well, you are going to be more capable of interacting with the crystalline structures around you. Now, remembering that they are conscious allies is key, for your consciousness is affected by them, and the thoughts that you project when you are surrounded by crystals happen to be broadcast through your planet's energy fields with greater ease. And this is why you are noticing the great power that comes with surrounding yourself with crystals. Those of you who work with them will change your genetic structure more rapidly than those who do not.
Okay. Well, thank you.
We do thank you, yes. And about the idea of your food, well, understand that in our world we do not eat. Unless we really wish to. And we do so only for the sake of our pleasure. So, you may find that those of you who focus on meditation, on being in a flow state or channeling, will at some point lose the desire for food. Now, you must not force this. You must listen to your own body. If you wish to eat, eat, and if you do not wish to eat, then do not. Do not fear that your body is going to fail, unless you are really feeling that it may. You can sustain yourself without food for very long periods of time, and in the times to come, many of you will desire to do this for the purpose of showing the other humans that you do not really need food, and that your beliefs about food and the emotional quality you bring to your eating habits determines everything about it.
May I ask one more question?
Yes?
Are you in the opinion that there are infinite amount of parallel
Yes.
realities? Okay. So many of the Pleiadians have talked about asking humans to opt into voluntary consent to a hybrid genetic programming. And yet I haven't heard anyone talk about opting out. And so what does that mean if we're opting out, if we're not interested in participating? What happens to the trajectories of timelines along those lines?
Well, it simply means that you do not get to join the first parties that we will be having with you.
As far as the genetics of the non-hybridized humans, if they choose not to join a hybrid program with Grace, tell me about the future of the non-hybrid humans that are, opting out of that hybrid program.
They will, at a point in time, lose the ability to survive upon your planet. For those who will come will shift to new technologies, new eating styles, and new cultural values. And so the old fear-based way will become much like the scattered indigenous peoples of before, who were lost and on their own. They will not be able to meet their needs, and they will die off.
Thank you. That's very fascinating. Well, that will take care of my questions for today.
We do thank you, yes.
Next. Number 2. You're on TV.
Thank you for holding council with me. I'm so honored to hold your grace.
And we are very pleased to meet you as well.
My name is Fern DeFay, and I'm an ambassador from the star beings of the Fae race.
All right.
And I have many queries for you. I
All
just
right.
need to channel them to the appropriate subject for today.
All right.
I would like to inquire with you on some of the themes I've been contemplating that we seem to share with cultural values with our kinds.
Yes.
And sometimes I wonder if these common values are because I am a distant kin of your kind as well, that's just
Yes.
been here longer, or if it's just because we share same cultural values and we don't have to be from the same planet to share the same values. What do you think about that? Do you think that let me reframe this question. I think I've been here as a starseed so long on Earth that I'm an Earth-terrestrial being, but with the star origins. But I wonder if we're really from the same clan, just distantly related, because we have so many love values that are the same.
you have particular link-ins with many ancient incarnations upon this planet, and as well many extraterrestrial races. And so every time you leave your body, realize you enter into a timeless space. That the consciousness that moves in between worlds does not necessarily move in a linear fashion. So while there may be incarnations that have seemed to occur very recently in your world, you carry more powerfully a frequency from somewhere far beyond, if that makes sense.
Confirming that yes, I am far out,
Yes,
but am
Well,
a terrestrial Earth being in this
you
realm.
are all terrestrial Earth beings
Beings,
and
but
human
we're-
bodies, though you carry certain encodements from certain places far beyond. And while many of you claim to feel that you are from that place, it is simply a vibrational affinity. That upon incarnating, you made a soul level agreement with a particular multidimensional location to help anchor frequencies from that place here. In this sense, the channel brings a Pleiadian frequency through both this work and through his own soul energy. And in the same way, while you do not act as a channel for us, you have a vibrational affinity with what our value system and our mode of functioning within a greater scope appears to be.
Yes, thank you. But sometimes it's, as us humans, we're still in our time a little over fixated on our cultural identity as we're
Yes.
learning to evolve beyond that into the oneness.
Yes.
And it's very present in our cultural forefront, especially as Americans. A lot of us have had our cultural roots so diffused that we don't understand ourselves anymore. So that's why I'm trying to find the depths of understanding of myself so I can understand others. But I don't want to get divisive about it. Do you have any guidance for us that are dealing with our cultural issues and how to move beyond that into our greater gracious states of oneness?
Yes. And it is to begin to perceive otherness within oneself. To notice when you feel that there is something that is different in another individual. To find what within yourself is akin to that difference. For there is great uniqueness, and this is what adds to the collective expansion. It is not beneficial for all of you to be the same, and to understand the importance of diversity within a culture and within a planet and within a universe is to understand what makes the world work, what makes expansion actually happen. So come to find love for the things that you do not find fitting. If there's something you dislike in another, find that quality within yourself and find the ways that you demonstrate the same behavior. When you can instantly identify how a behavior that you don't like outside is played out in another way in your own life, you will come to understand that you are never seeing the world around you. You are only seeing yourself.
Yes, thank you for that reflection. That is something I've been working on guiding my life through, that we're all mirrors for each other, and anything you don't like in them, you just need to love it in yourself.
Yes.
And learn from this mirror and lesson. And I like what you say about the shared kin with the other. I do feel like the other are my tribe, and that's why I like to meet the others and reach out to them. Thank you for this clarity. Can I continue to ask some more questions?
Yes, you may.
So, 2 other questions tie in with this. The first one was addressed about the faerie lineage and our human and racial and star beings. Thank you for addressing that. My next question is in alignment with that. I would like to ask you about the funky mothership. There is a cultural parable and storyline within the Black American culture of the funk movement in which they have a mothership with specially designed clones of funk to empower the world to funkentize galaxies with a lot of our shared faerie and Pleiadian values of love and community through dancing and merriment and good times and liberating our root chakra by opening up our minds and all these shared values. I'm wondering if the insight that this band Parliament, that is the gospel for it, was channeling some kind of star beings that you guys recognize. Do you think they've been partying on the mothership with your Pleiadian kind as well? Can you give me any insight to this and the link between them? Because again, there are so many shared values. They even refer to themselves as star children, and that we all should strive to be star children, to be broadcasters of the light through good times. Can you address
Yes.
this subject?
Yes, they are one of many musical acts in your world that unconsciously channel energies from extraterrestrial worlds.
Yes.
And this is very common in any music that you refer to as psychedelic.
Well, thank you for that confirmation. Third question on that. I'm also very resonant with the Whore of Babylon, Sacred Priestess, Love Temple Healer,
Yes.
that has a lot of the same resonant values with the Pleiadian and faerie and Venusian values.
Yes.
I want to know more about the relationship of Lilith and Sumeria and Inanna and Ishtar and all of the ancient goddess cult that had a place for the divine harlot and sacred love pleasure, and also how it related potentially to star beings, because I know the ancient Sumerians were in connection with the star beings. Do you think there's overlap there, and can you speak to that?
Yes. The high priestesses and priests of most of these ancient cultures were in communication with either Pleiadian groups or Syrian groups, often a fusion of two of us. And the power of sexuality was understood to be the most potent energy generated by the human body, and also the most potent energy to enter into higher states of consciousness. Now, the priests and priestesses knew that when humans did not value their sexuality, they would disperse that energy in chaotic bursts that would then cause disruption among the village. And so the role was seen as a necessity for certain individuals to harness this sexuality and teach others how to harness this sexual energy and treat it with eyes of beauty in honor of what is considered sacred. And when you use this energy in this way, you open vast multidimensional chambers. You can intentionally transmit the energy of your orgasms to celestial realms, such as our star or any other star system that you feel an affinity to open other aspects of your soul and allow them to come into your body. Again, your orgasmic energy is the most potent energy you ever generate. And so to focus your orgasms with great intent and visualization and affirmation and sound, and make sure that the act itself is prolonged and involving great connection, involving great transparency and emotional communication. You will use this power within you to know what is beyond human within you.
Thank you for that re-clarification. I think I have a final question.
Yes.
Do you have any personal insight for me while I am in transition of where to locate myself on the physical planes to better serve myself and my village and my community with my mystic work I do to be sustained with my practical finite material needs being met through
Do you
this
have
work?
ideas?
Yes, I want to stay on the West Coast in Cascadia. I have several choices. I just feel that I'm remaining open to the flow to present new opportunities, because when I keep investing in my pre-established plans, they keep falling apart, showing me that's not the right solution. I need to do
Yes.
something else. So I'm trying to stay open to what the next step is. Do you have any insight or clues or tips for me?
Keep your vibration high. Keep yourself in a state of positive focus in the present moment, noticing the vast opportunities that are before you each step of the way. know that you only need to make decisions at the moment you need to make decisions. And until then, enjoy the feeling of expansion in each moment. When you follow your highest excitement to the best of your ability with no insistence on a particular outcome, you place yourself in the greatest vibrational resonance to attract opportunity to you. And you do not need to struggle or worry. In fact, when you do, the opportunities that are right before you will disintegrate. You will pop out of their range. Notice the feeling of a throbbing in your chest, the feeling of a warmth moving through your body, a feeling of great love that emerges within you. When an opportunity strikes that emotional chord, that is the next step. Let that feeling guide you, and know that it is the feeling state itself that will be the greatest magnet.
Well, thank you very much. Do you have any other wisdom you want to ask or share of me?
No, we thank you. This has been a wonderful interaction and has allowed us to give very important information to all of you.
Well, thank you so much for your personal and group oriented counsel. Thank you so much for this audience.
The pleasure is ours. We thank you.
Hello.
Hello there, and how are you doing this day?
I'm wonderful, thank you. I'm
Very good.
curious about cannabis
All right.
and its role in our human evolution and planetary evolution.
Yes.
Would you speak to that?
All right. Well, as you know, it has been used by many cultures, especially in your Indian subcontinent, for many thousands of your years. And its reemergence is helping you to connect with the heart chakra. Its green color helps you to build emotional affinity with that which you connect with. And so this openness of the heart is the first key into your evolution. And that's why it is so potent for you at this time. Though, once you get the key, understand that you don't need the medicine itself to attune to that same vibration. Find ways that you can be in a state of the same positively focused, emotional openness that cannabis helps you to access. For it will take you there and it will make you feel better, though if you believe that it is what is the magic, you are missing the tools that exist within your consciousness. And this is the next step, though it is important that this plant spreads across your planet legally, for it is assisting all of you in shifting to a love and heart-centered approach to life.
Thank you. And what is the relationship between cannabis and tobacco?
They are synergistic plants. The tobacco itself is, well, smoke itself does inhibit some of the level of biological functioning of your body. That if you inhale too much smoke too regularly, your lung capacity will gradually decrease, and the level of pranic energy that you bring through will be slightly diminished. Other than this, it is relatively harmless when used in conjunction with each other.
Thank you.
We do thank you as well.
Hello.
Yes? How are
I
you doing
had-
this day?
I'm doing quite well.
All right.
I had a question about a projection that I had quite some time ago.
All right.
About some creatures that I had met.
All right.
So the projection went where I went into the depths of the ocean, into a cavern, and I had stumbled upon a great creature, very large, and I had passed it and went even deeper into a spot of warmth into the center of the earth, and it was very large. And I ran into these long creatures of light and liquid, almost made of liquid, and they were different colors as they moved, the liquid would slowly kind of trail off and then come back into one. But I had one face to face with me, examine me, and then it opened a door from another area, and then I walked through. I was wondering what kind of creatures this were, if you knew anything about them.
This can be described best as a faerie of the sea. A faerie is a loose term, for you have not defined these vast mythic realms that exist within your oceans quite yet. Yet, every natural world upon your planet has its own mythic realm that it is connected to. And you are opening a new doorway to the mystic creatures that do exist within your water.
Yeah, that's my only question.
All right, we do thank you.
That was 85.
I thought 83 was there.
What was your number count? Number 4?
Yeah,
So now we're on 5.
Okay.
Hello there, and good day to you.
Hello, Dante et al. I feel graced to be part of communicating with your loved ones.
And we are very blessed to experience a connection with you as well.
I have a question
All
about
right.
the apparent conflict between the intimacy of relationship with a partner and the degree to which that intimacy can be extended to others for whom one feels similar love. And there appear to be balances that are wisely observed there. And I often feel as though I have this resolve in my psyche, but at other times it still seems to be a nagging issue that I'm not quite at peace with, and I would prefer to feel very clear.
All right. Are you speaking about having other romantic engagements within a committed relationship?
Perhaps romantic, but even sensual, intense relationships that don't necessarily get into the same space. There's
All right.
It confuses me sometimes. I feel very strongly attracted to and celebratory of both females and males, but particularly females. And I wish to honor the divinity in all around me without compromising the intimacies that I already know. And there may be no conflict there at all. I don't know.
And would your partner be offended if you were intimate with others?
I'm certain she would.
Then the basis must be having that sort of conversation about that level of openness. Where do you feel comfortable and where do you feel uncomfortable? For when you have a belief or an idea about how another person may feel. You will set out a vibration, whether you go in the direction of what they want or in the direction of what they don't want. Those around you know, on some level, how you are feeling. If you carry an emotion of guilt, you are destroying intimacy. Guilt destroys intimacy, because guilt is not a real emotion. It is a cover-up emotion for the deeper underlying feelings that you hold.
I suppose it's the desire to avoid putting myself in situations where I might feel guilty that is the challenge.
All right.
And since it's, yeah, I guess that's true.
Suppose that you were in one of these situations
Mm-hmm.
and you felt very, very guilty.
No, that's too far along. It's like a decision point. I feel no guilt at all around this issue, but I feel confusion around it because there are my I suppose the stories I tell myself may or may not be accurate, and it's fuzzy.
Yes.
And I'm not thinking that conflict of any kind in myself is going to serve me, so I want to smooth this out.
What about this supposed future situation makes you feel so guilty that your partner would disapprove of connecting with another?
It would be at this point a violation of an agreement.
Yes.
And that would not be an integrity.
And can you simply speak your truth to the other individuals involved that you do not wish to be so close or affectionate with them?
Say that a different way.
Suppose that there was another individual
Yes.
coming to you for a degree of affection that was beyond the agreement you have made.
Mm-hmm.
Could you say that with ease?
Yes. With ease, I could say that with ease, but I might say,
But I also kind
Yes.
of want it.
yes.
All right. And so there is a gap between what you want and what you have allowed yourself to have.
Correct.
Well, that's not going to take you very far.
No.
What do you want to experience with other individuals?
I'm probably experiencing it now. I like connection, the feeling of intimate love, pure, celebratory, divine-to-divine connection.
Yes. And do you suppose that this level of connection is infinite? That you can share as much love with every individual that you connect with?
Yes.
Can you suppose that every time you open to this unconditional love that is your source and is your own soul energy,
Yes.
that as you open it, that channel becomes permanently a bit wider?
Yes.
And so can you not see that how sharing your love with others helps you share love with the ones that you are closest to?
Yes.
All right. And is it not the case that sharing your self, sharing your soul, sharing your emotions helps you get to know yourself deeper?
Yes.
And if you know yourself deeper, can you not know your partner deeper?
Yes.
And so, don't you suppose that this agreement is sort of fear-based?
Perhaps, but it's nonetheless an agreement.
All right. Well, you can change agreements, can't you?
There can be consequences.
All right. Though if you are firmly connected in yourself,
Yes.
and you are sharing love, and you are desiring for everyone to feel better,
Yes.
trust more,
Yes.
and you make a new agreement based on that love and trust, don't you suppose that would alleviate both of you?
Yes.
All right, then try it out.
Thank you.
Well, do thank you. Whenever there is a gap between what you desire and what you believe is possible or have designed to be the structure of your life, you limit your full potential. Allow yourself to embrace your desires and, of course, place the desire for great connection with each other as the very foremost goal.
Yeah.
You may continue.
Hello.
Hello, how are you doing on this day?
Excellent.
Very good.
I'm honored to be in your presence.
And we honored to be with you.
Thank you. I'm about to share something quite vulnerable.
All right. How exciting.
Exactly. When I was a young child, I experienced sexual fantasies that
All right.
were very much filled with fear
Yes.
and pain
Yes.
and violence.
Yes.
And I became very terrified of these fantasies.
All right.
And as I grew, I learned to distance myself from my sexual potency,
Yes.
to protect myself from these fantasies I was experiencing. And they continue to obstruct the flow of erotic energy in my adult life. And I'd like to know what steps I could take to resolve these energies within myself.
We thank you for your open sharing. Now, when you suppress a fantasy, it becomes embedded at deeper levels. And so there is a certain degree of unraveling that must take place. And this process may not be pleasant, though there will be great relief that comes as you learn to overlay fantasies with new fantasies. You can do the same with memories, and you may benefit from experiencing the initial memories around which these fantasies developed and restructuring those memories to be more love-based and more pleasing to your inner child. Do you remember when these fantasies began?
At the age of 5 or 6.
And was there abuse prior to that age?
It doesn't... No, not in my lifetime.
All right. And what were the fantasies about, do you suppose?
Control, abuse, giving up control.
But were they violent fantasies?
Yes, they were about pain and entrapment.
Were they violent in the sense that they involved murder?
No.
All right. Then you're doing very well. Do you suppose that an experience of control or entrapment is entirely unpleasurable?
No, I suppose there can be pleasure in that experience.
And do you suppose that with consent and transparency and emotional support that one can actually benefit from these sorts of experiences?
Yes.
Have you considered trying it out?
Yes.
All right. Understand that if there is a desire, the best way to expand is to fulfill the desire. Now, you have been trained to believe that it is not okay to want certain things. Most of you have learned this from a very young age, when really, if you were given free range of potential, your desires would both be about your great pleasure and then move even further in the service of others. And this sort of sexual experience that you may desire is one that is very common in your world and actually brings great relief. When you experience the ability to give another human complete control, you develop a great trust. It is perhaps very odd for many of you, though it is something that can be actually deeply healing and therapeutic.
May I ask one more question?
Yes?
You mentioned going back to the initial memory and beginning to build a new fantasy
Yes.
that is more oriented towards love and wholeness.
Yeah. So you can begin by coming to meet your inner child, coming to witness the moments in which you had these fantasies and learn to suppress them. What behaviors did you use to suppress the fantasies?
What behaviors did I use to suppress the fantasies?
Yes.
Hiding. Shame. Silence.
Then the greatest key is in changing your memories of your physical reality, applying the level of fantasy that would change those memories. Instead of experiencing your childhood as one of aloneness and shame, imagine that you are going back to your childhood with unicorns and fairies and perhaps beings such as ourselves who come into your reality and allow your child self to know that all of these desires are alright. That allow your child to know that they can really do and be anything they want. To give your child that validity and that pride will help the part of you that still feels trapped by your own self-limiting beliefs to free up and be part of you.
Thank you.
We do thank you, yes.
One more question.
Alright.
Is it useful to understand, I don't have the feeling that those fantasies were based on experiences from this lifetime.
No.
Is it useful to understand the context of the previous lifetime from when they originate? Or do I need to only focus on this
It can be
lifetime?
curious to find parallels in other lifetimes, though understand that it is part of your soul makeup in this lifetime. And so you will learn more about it by exploring it.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
We do thank you, yes.
What number?
That was 81.
Hello there, how are you doing?
I am superb.
Very good.
I have a question about specifically the male orgasm
Yes.
and how we can utilize it in our highest good.
Well, understand that your male body builds up a charge and then discharges. And so when you are ejaculating, you are releasing a charge that builds for a period of time. Now, for most of you, the healthiest way is to allow that charge to build for several of your days or up to a week and then discharge, using practices to engage the sexual energy consciously and hold it for periods of time. Most of you would probably get a little bit cuckoo if you held it in for far too long, though there are practices that are designed to hold the energy and retain ejaculation indefinitely.
Can you speak upon that? That practices?
Yes, they require many years of discipline and training and stem from what you know to be Chinese and Indian traditions, for the most part. And you can use them, they do work, though it is also beneficial for you to ejaculate if you wish. It is really your belief about this sexual energy that determines the result. And so if you really believe that you lose energy when you practice ejaculation, you will lose energy. You will lose a charge when you ejaculate, and it will build. And the more you build your own body's vitality by giving yourself great sensory stimuli, by giving yourself nourishing foods, by using foods you know to be aphrodisiacs. And an aphrodisiac is simply a food that boosts your body's vitality. Who would have thought that your body gets more vitality and you get more sexual? When you do this, you will continue to build sexual energy. And it does not matter, essentially, if you ejaculate or not. Though, yes, we do suggest some time in between ejaculations if you wish to experience more powerful orgasms.
I have a personal question.
Yeah.
In my dream states, my whole life, I have released that ejaculation
Yes.
upon awakening. And,
Yes.
I have not yet cultivated a reason why, and I would like some guidance within reasoning for that.
Is it every time?
Every time I sleep, no. Approximately once weekly.
And do you engage in your sexual energy in your waking life
Yes.
frequently?
Yes, without release of ejaculation.
It is releasing in your dream because your body is needing a release. Because you are not consciously allowing the release. Your subconscious is being the access for that point of release. When you orgasm, you also send out a powerful energy. When you ejaculate, you release an energy. And while it takes time to build that charge up once again, it is a powerful point that you can use that energy to cast a spell, if you will. What you think about at the point of orgasm, and especially about at the moment of ejaculation, will be accelerated. It will be a very energized point in your field of attraction that will manifest with greater ease. And the more you allow yourself to feel the depth of your body's pleasure, the more you will be in alignment with what your soul actually desires for you.
Thank you.
We do thank you, yes. Hello.
I have a question on self-worth, and
All right.
so I'm going to share something. I feel that at certain points and throughout my day, I'm feeling this like complete fifth dimensional love state, and then there are times when I'm not. And for me, the gap, because I know these very high states of bliss, whether it be from cacao or whatever practices or just the vibration that I start to carry, and then I feel the drop off from that. And the drop off for me when I'm not in those states is very difficult because I can see the illusion, I can see the Maya playing out, And I wanted to know and I think for me, and it comes because I start to like have a lot of self-worth issues, and to not see myself as like worthy of love, of anything, and also others at that moment. And I was just wondering if you could like speak to that at all.
Every time you go back into that state,
Uh-huh.
you are releasing another layer of belief about yourself. You wouldn't feel negative if you weren't releasing a negatively charged belief system. And so understand that those moments of regression, as they seem to be, are actually moments of the trough of a sine wave curve. You could consider it in this way. That a sine wave moves up and down continuously. And every time you move down in this regard, you do move back up. So you understand that, yes, there's emotions being experienced and expressed, though it is a continuous pattern. Yes?
Yes.
And do you have greater trust every time you
Yeah.
experience the lack of self-worth that you will again find
Yeah.
that higher state?
Yes. Yeah.
And can you recognize the belief systems as they arise when you go into that lower density?
Yeah.
So know that that lower density is valid, that it is being expressed through you because it needs to be, and that the experiences of emotional discord are there for you to return to wholeness. The less you judge your emotional experiences, and the more you can hold a positive attitude about what you are experiencing, the quicker you will return to that state of a more elevated expression of love. Do not fear your own emotions. Allow your emotions to be expressed, to be processed, and to be channeled for the purpose of your healing. Sharing them as gifts with the world around you allows you to transmute quicker. And know that this is a process that will continue for quite some time on your planet. We understand the desire to always feel good. It's nice for us to always feel good. In our world we do. Though you're not there yet, so you may experience this slight delay as you catch up. It's all right. We will assist you through it.
Thank you. I have 2 more questions.
Yes.
The second one is, as I'm figuring out what my sexual preferences are, I do enjoy. I'm definitely confused in that realm because I'm really attracted to women, and
yes,
I've mostly been with women in my life. But I would have to say at this moment I feel very much in love with many of my friends.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's something that, but I don't feel super sexual towards many of my friends. I just love them. I love them as people, and I'm wondering if that's an okay state. If that's an okay state to be. I haven't felt like super sexual towards anyone really in like a while, and I think it's more of like that I feel very much in love with my friends. Like I would do pretty much anything for them.
And that is actually the best way to be. It is good to deeply love the people around you, for that state of love is a sign that you are in a great state of connection to your soul. And in the times to come, you will be able to experience profound love for people you do not even know, and it will be considered normal. You will all come together in a state of perpetual love and expressions of that love between each other, as you will come to find and connect with and live with your greater soul family. And truly everyone is at one level your soul family, yet there are many who are very akin to you, and you will attract them the more you find yourself firmly anchored in that state of love and expressing of that state of love. We would say that in your case at this time, many of the people that you feel a peculiar attraction to represent something to you that you believe you cannot have within yourself. Find out what it is, and know that it is not even deficient. It is there and with you and has been the whole time.
Thank you.
We do thank you as well.
The next question is about the fairy realms. And
All right.
do you have access at all with the fairy realms?
Yes, we do.
Do you think that they could use a channel? They could use a deeper channel here on Earth?
Yes.
Yes. And suggesting that by same way as you use people's bodies to channel in this way?
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
Understand that there are infinite beings out there. There are more beings than any one of you could channel. There are more beings than all of you could channel if you all began channeling today.
And I have a question too from someone in the audience about, thank you for all the information. So honored. And someone wanted to know where are there high vibrational places to live?
Wherever you're excited to be is the highest vibrational place to live. Now, there are places on your planet that have naturally high frequencies. And they are known by many of you who map and grid the energy vortexes. They have been known for thousands of your years. Some of them are very ancient sites. And some do well to ground and live in these high vibration places, while others cannot handle the higher frequencies that start to bring up all of the old patterns and toxicities. Really, you do not need to be in one of these locations if you are totally passionate about your living situation. Everyone is unique. Everyone is a different expression of source energy. And your different desires will be the guideposts for you to find the most high expression of a living situation for yourself.
Thank you.
We do, thank you.
Last
Okay.
Last question.
One more.
About trust. If we start to realize that we know we're part of a bigger mission and a divine mission, and as long as we keep kind of traveling on that trajectory, total trust that everything is gonna be exactly as divine will has it.
Yes.
Thank you.
That was not a question, but we agree.
Hello.
Hello, and how are you doing?
I'm doing great. I just like to offer myself as practicing channeling as well,
All right.
and bring in some language from the star family.
All right.
And could you help me in my little practice of translating?
Yes.
Okay. And this is kind of big for me to share this in front of a group of people. So.
All right.
All right. Thank you, and I appreciate you helping me in my guidance
Yes.
on it as well. Shlak nak nuka nakatira karako. Sina naka no kala. Shela shina. Sina kanana kako kelaki. Nona nenena. Soda si. Pura kekela. Na 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 na. Na na. Pura sira la ko. De.
We do thank you, yes. And how do you feel now?
I feel good.
All right.
Yeah.
We see you connected with our world. well as the Syrian system. And these frequencies blend when you open up your channel. Now, with time, you will begin to channel other extraterrestrial frequencies as well. This initial message that you have connected with today is to help you build trust in your own process.
So do you have any other advice for me, how to cultivate and work with this in my life? Because it just kind of comes through and I'm able to translate it.
Yes. Yes, continue. And practice it throughout the day. Practice it with other individuals. And you may begin to use this as a healing modality with people.
Uh-huh. And
The people you work with will help you learn more about it more than anything else will.
And so sometimes I find myself like where I'm able to channel, and so I'm receiving the information, but then I'm having to shift inside myself because I have to speak in like a three-dimensional way, and it's really challenging sometimes to feel like these energies from these other realms and the information that's coming in, and then have to shift and be like in a third-dimensional realm at times.
Yes, we
So-
understand.
Can you like help me in my guidance in that?
Understand that the dance of light and shadow is a necessary part of your world. That it is painful here. And that is alright. That to develop the strength to face the pain gives you the power of great courage and love. And you will know the depth of love that is your nature, even within the pain. It will be a great numbing agent, and it will erase the challenge of the pain with time. But you must first learn to accept the challenge of your physical reality. It is a teaching class, and you have come here into physical density to play out many karmic patterns that you are transmuting. You have come as it is a playground of vast opportunities for you to experience all of the pleasures of your world. So enjoy them, and do not let any culturally conditioned belief systems prevent you from experiencing all of your own desires. Your joy will make your pain manageable. Yet you first must give yourself all of your joy. And it is okay and good that your joy comes from things that you may consider very dense and very human. You are human for a reason, and if you were really meant to be in the other worlds entirely, you would already be one of us.
Do you have a message for me from the Pleiadians and the Syrian family?
We love you very much, and we are already one with you. You are coming to bring our frequency into your life and into your world, and you will soon find that you are already a Pleiadian and a Syrian, simply expressing yourself through a human form. So trust.
I also feel that I have so much love for the earth and the plants, and that's an important piece as the earth is continuing being birthed.
Yes. It is a very beautiful place, is it not?
Yes, it is. I love it.
Yes. And what aspects of it challenge you so?
I don't feel so challenged. I love people and I love the earth, so I see the beauty in it and the joy.
Then what challenges you in moving back and forth between experiencing a higher density and experiencing your physical world?
I think it's just getting used to like how to like it's a different frequency, so it's like I have to speak different ways.
Yes.
Like depending on who I'm connecting with, I have to shift to a different frequency. So sometimes it's just it's kind of like playing a guitar, I guess I would say.
Yes.
It's like I have to keep practicing and practicing until I know how I can really shift easily and comfortably.
Yes. And that will play out in its time. They'll continue to work in this way, continue to share the messages, for you are here to be a very great channel as a forerunner in the shift to these higher dimensional frequencies.
I see myself getting out and speaking more in public, like the messages that are coming through to me, but I feel like shy. I don't
Yes.
know what's holding me back.
And that fear is also what comes up when you shift back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
What could happen if you were a vast galactic ambassador?
Well, I think that's pretty amazing, pretty awesome.
Yes,
Actually.
it is.
Yeah.
Though, what is the shadow side of it?
I don't know, you tell me. What would be the shadow side of that?
Whatever you fear about it.
I don't think there is no fear.
All right.
There is no fear about it. I got the message now. It's like the love just melts. The love melts any of the stagnant,
Yes.
any of the blocks
Yes.
in the body.
Yes.
Yeah. The love completely just melts anything.
Yes.
So it's really to work on continuing to practice cultivating like practices of love and acts of kindness to people.
Yes.
And especially now more than ever because of the planet changing, people are going to need more help and more assistance. So it's actually taking more of a step to be of service to others.
Yes. That is really the best way to raise your frequency.
Okay, well, thank you for your time.
All right, we do thank you, yes.
What number were you?